We saw the scariest part about the Dallas Cowboys, so we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Dallas Cowboys may go all in as proposed trade sees Cowboys land. $81 million receiver. The Dallas Cowboys would be an ideal landing spot for this veteran receiver. In a trade scenario proposed by Inside the Stars Mario Herrera Jr., the Cowboys would acquire 5-time Pro Bowl wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins from the Tennessee Titans in exchange for a 5th-round pick. Herrera argues that although Hopkins is coming off a rebound season, he posted 75 catches for 1,057 yards and 7 touchdowns. With lackluster quarterback play, the Titans could look to get younger and stockpile draft capital. Tennessee looks to get younger at the position to grow with second-year QB Will Levis. While the Cowboys would certainly welcome the addition of a 3rd established receiver following the release of Michael Gallup Jr. this offseason, Herrera makes sure to stress that the Titans would have to take on some of his 2024 salary due to the Cowboys' recent cap-restrained approach. Execution of this trade would require the Titans to take on some of his 2024 salary, writes Herrera. Stephen Jones will scoff at his current cap hit of $18 million. Is on the verge of entering the final year of a 2-year, $26 million deal he signed with the Titans in 2023. The idea of the Cowboys adding a 3rd veteran receiver is a realistic idea. Dallas will likely enter training camp with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks as the top 2 receivers, with young and unproven receivers such as Jalen Tolbert, Cavante Turpin, and rookie Ryan Flournoy competing for the slot position. Tolbert has just 29 catches for 268 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns through the first 2 seasons of his career, while Turpin has largely served as a return specialist, notching just 13 catches for 136 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns during his career. While the Titans likely won't be contending for a Super Bowl this season with second-year quarterback Will Levis entering training camp as the unquestioned starter, it's hard to envision Tennessee trading his best and most dependable receiving weapon before his first full season as starter. Despite being 32 years of age, Hopkins is still the Titans' go-to receiver, with former first-round pick Treylon Burks proving to be a bust so far in his career after posting just 49 catches for 665 receiving yards and 1 touchdown during the first 2 seasons of his career. In fact, Hopkins garners such a large share of the receptions and targets among the wide receivers that the Titans' second-best receiver was Nick Westbrook-Akine with 28 catches for 370 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. His number of catches and receiving yards ranked 5th among players on the team. The idea of the Cowboys acquiring Hopkins, who previously teased the idea of playing for the Cowboys during the 2023 offseason, is obviously a move Dallas would welcome. However, the idea of the Titans parting ways with Hopkins as their young quarterback Levis enters a pivotal year in his development just isn't a very realistic scenario, especially if the Cowboys are just parting ways with a 5th-round draft pick in exchange for an established star receiver like Hopkins. The second story is Dallas Cowboys' Jake Ferguson not even scratching the surface when it comes to his potential. A year ago, Jake Ferguson was something of an unknown. As a rookie tight end for the Dallas Cowboys in 2022, he caught 19 passes for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, unsure were the Cowboys about what he could be that they selected Luke Schoonmaker in the 2nd round. Now, as Ferguson enters his 3rd season, he is without a doubt the Cowboys' top tight end. In 2023, he caught 71 passes for 761 yards and 5 touchdowns and was named to the Pro Bowl. To me, I think I'm not even scratching my surface, Ferguson said. There's so many things that I want to get better at, and I know I can get better at. We watch film every day of different games, even the practices we're doing now, and I'm like, okay, I can get a lot better still. Tight ends coach Lunda Wells tells his players to shoot for perfection and achieve excellence. Ferguson has taken part in the Tight End University program led by Greg Olsen, George Kittle, and Travis Kelce. Wells mentioned 1,000 receiving yards and improving his blocking as goals for Ferguson. The great ones play consistently on a high level every year throughout their careers, Wells said. The Jason Wittens of the world, the Kelseys of the world. So you want to be able to chase that consistency and play great every year. I think that might be one of the things he's focusing on. Hey, anybody can do it one year, but can I do it every year? Ferguson's jump is reminiscent of what Witten did from his rookie year in 2003 to 2004. Like Ferguson, his receptions increased by 52 from 35 as a rookie to 87 in year 2. Like Ferguson, he was named to the Pro Bowl after finishing with 980 yards and 6 touchdowns. Early in Witten's third offseason, he was approached by coach Bill Parcells, tight ends coach Tony Sparano, and passing game coordinator Sean Payton. They looked at me and said, "Great year, but now can you do it again?" Witten remembered. I think that would be the challenge to put the work in. Ferguson has been at the Star almost daily in the offseason. He is trying to add a little more bulk to his 252-pound frame to help in the run game. When Dak Prescott has throwing sessions away from the facility, he is there. After his first Pro Bowl selection, Witten would earn the spot in 9 of the next 10 seasons. In his 16 years with the Cowboys, he became the franchise's all-time leader in receptions and yards. If Ferguson needed any other reminder of what he's chasing, a giant mural of a helmetless Witten running with the ball hangs from the wall just outside the locker room. I think he can do it all, Witten said of Ferguson. He's a willing blocker. He can bend. Looks like he's smart. He's got great chemistry with Dak. Good charisma. He can run. He understands separation. So I think now seeing himself do it, here's where the growth comes. In his 13-year run with the Green Bay Packers, Coach Mike McCarthy never had a tight end catch more than 61 passes or gain more than 767 yards. In McCarthy's 4 seasons as the Cowboys coach, their leading tight end caught at least 57 passes each year. Some of it is the structure of each offense. The Packers relied more on their wide receivers for pass game production with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Prescott has relied heavily on tight ends like Witten, Schultz, and Ferguson since he became the starter in 2016. Jake has so much more to give, McCarthy said. Prescott agrees. Obviously, you see the jump he made from year 1 to year 2, Prescott said, and he's improved his intensity in his preparation just in this offseason, the way he's treated his body, the way that he's been communicating with me throughout the offseason, whether it's catching and throwing. He's a big-time playmaker for this team, this offense. The third story is Dallas Cowboys star Trevon Diggs trolls Giants in new post. This time of the NFL league year is always quiet, but Dallas Cowboys corner Trevon Diggs is spicing things up with a new post. The New York Giants are unveiling a new uniform set comprised of older jerseys, pants, and helmets, and Diggs is apparently not a fan. On May 17th, Diggs responded to a post from Pro Football Focus asking social media if they liked the Giants' new look. The Cowboys corner didn't need many words to express his feelings. Ew, Diggs posted on X. New York's new throwback set is certainly adventurous, as it combines the Giants' longtime red and blue with a set of beige pants. The helmets feature an old-school wing design that looks great on a college team like Michigan, but it is extremely rare to see at the NFL level. Either way, Diggs isn't afraid to make his thoughts known. That should come as no surprise considering Diggs has publicly recruited his brother Stephon to the Cowboys, although that didn't end up working out. Back in September of 2023, the Cowboys suffered a major setback as Diggs tore his ACL in practice. Diggs was coming off back-to-back Pro Bowl campaigns and had already nabbed an interception and swatted 2 passes in 2 games. But injuries can strike at any point, and the Cowboys lost Diggs early. In some ways, it set up the rise of fellow corner Darren Bland, who was a first-team All-Pro in 2023. Of course, it would have been preferable to see both of them excel simultaneously. The silver lining of the injury is that it happened fairly early in the season. Diggs has been recovering for 8 months since and should be at 100% health by the time training camp rolls around. Meanwhile, Stephon Gilmore has yet to sign with Dallas or elsewhere in free agency. It's not clear why he's still a free agent, but the 33-year-old and the Cowboys may be monitoring the finish to Diggs' recovery before making a move. Coming into May, it was a bit surprising that Gilmore still didn't have a team. He's a two-time All-Pro and four-time Pro Bowler who also is coming off a season with Dallas with 2 interceptions and 13 passes defended. But according to Gilmore, the issue is age. In an interview with CBS Sports' Josina Anderson, Gilmore explains that he is more particular, and teams are more wary about his age. "I'm still focused on playing, but it has to be the right opportunity. I feel like it's the age thing with some of these teams. If I was 28, I would already have been signed by now. At the same time, I know the value I still bring," Gilmore said.